He came back home from after playing pros, the Globetrotters and everything. He came back home to take care of his neighborhood, his community. So we got the famous Donnie Boyce here today. So before we get into Donnie, because there's a lot of things been happening in the NBA, and we want to get some of his thoughts, share some of his thoughts. But we want to thank the Red Door Meeting Place, Rhythm and Blues Cafe, Stacy's Cafe, Casa de Porras Smoke Shop, The View, um, Viola Shy, The Blue Note, and also Chicago Chicken Shack. These people have sponsored us and they've showed us love. You guys need to check them out for some of your events or whatever the case might be because it's very important. We lost one of our good friends, buried one of our good friends today, Don Cheatham. So we want to shout out to his family and get that out the way. But I got here Donnie Boyce with me. He's the head basketball coach at Proviso East, and he's doing some phenomenal things. And we had a talk the other day, and he was sharing with me, a lot of people don't have compassion and the passion for the position. And I want him to tell his story. I don't want to try to tell his story because he know his story better than I do. But he walked in the door, took the kids downstate the first 2 years. It was like, wow. And I got a chance to experience that. So it was good. But Donnie, tell the people who you are.
Well, obviously I'm homegrown.
There you go.
I'm from Maywood. Most people don't know I grew up on the same block as Doc Rivers,
All right.
4 houses away from him. So I always had an inspiration on my block. Somebody to look up to, somebody to kind of pattern who I want to live like and what I want to aspire to be in life. And what better person to have your neighbor?
There you go. That's good stuff. I mean, and you see, it took off from there for Doc.
Right. And so from there, obviously watching them at East and just watching this career, you know, Coach McCall played Mr. McCall at Garfield, the Bumblebees. That was our traveling team. It wasn't an AAU team back then, but those people played a big part on kind of shape a vision for what I wanted to accomplish in life. And so, the one thing I always share with my players is, life is about choices. When you make the good choice or the right choice, you usually get good results. When you tend to make the wrong choice or make bad decisions, then you get bad results.
Yeah, and that happens. And during your struggle, I mean, you got an opportunity to meet two other guys, Michael Finley and Sherelle Ford, and you guys grew into a powerhouse under McCall and the other coaches. And how did that go? How was what kind of experience was that for you?
Well, it definitely helped me to have two friends to kind of have the same vision, the same drive. And when you have friendly competition, you don't want to be left behind in no area. So, we all tried to aspire in the classroom. We all tried to, be good kids. You're gonna be mischievous. Everybody as a teenager
That's
growing
what
up.
boys do,
Right. But for the most part, we stayed out of trouble. We did the right things, and we definitely dedicated, you know, and trying to be the best, across the board, not only in basketball but in life too.
And you guys have done a good job. Your parents have done a good job. But tell me what kind of practices did y'all have? You going against Mike going against Sherelle, y'all.
That always was the cream of the crop.
Okay.
You always want to test and show your friends. Maybe I've been working up and working on a few things and caught up. Definitely when it came to the athleticism, we would definitely was always trying to outdo each other, outshine each other. But once again, that's that competitive rivalry. Like I definitely remember in games when if Michael Sherelle got a dunk and the crowd went wild. In my mind, I was thinking, oh, y'all like that? Wait till my turn.
Okay.
So
You wanted to show them up.
oh yeah, but in practice, what better person to have than your friend to kind of once again push each other.
Go at each other. Now, coming up through grammar school with Mr. Bacall, he was one of the influences in your life. Did you guys win any championships?
Definitely a lot of tournaments. The one thing Mr. McCall taught me was the fundamentals. Taught all of us the fundamentals. You had to definitely play defense. You definitely had to understand the game of basketball and play the right way.
Okay.
And so when I got into coaching, all my coaches that I came across throughout my career, I tried to take a piece of what I thought was important that they taught me and put my own little spin to it. And so, I've been somewhat successful, some people may say, but until we put that, because we bred different here in Maywood, until we put that real trophy on the table.
There you go.
Some areas they kind of celebrate second place. That participation trophy, that's what I call it.
Yeah.
Because one thing Mr. McCall used to always tell us when we played in tournaments in the city and out of town, and nobody remembers second place. And if we take in second place, that should be motivation for us to get that first place trophy.
Yeah, and you guys did well. So now you go from grammar school, then you go to high school, and now you got a number of coaches. When you were on your high school level, who was those coaches that helped you?
Well, definitely, Mr. McCall followed us up there my junior year. Mr. Johnson. I'm trying to remember Coach Hitt, of course. Mobley.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember my freshman year because Mr. Morgan, that's his name. Mr. Morgan was the one that really kind of gave me that confidence as a freshman that I can play on the varsity level. Because I have kids that may have the talent, but as a kid, you want to play with your friends. And I've tried to move some lower level sophomores, freshmen up, and they really wasn't receptive to that idea. And I always share my experience. My freshman year, I hated that first couple of months because I was getting beat up. Really wasn't playing a lot, and I'm watching my friends. They dominate on the freshman level, knowing I can dominate and contribute. But Mr. Morgan, the one that really sat me down and Coach Hitt, they both kind of challenged me to see what character, what type of person I was. I'll never forget when Coach Hitt approached me. Initially, I told him no, because I'm green, 14, not really understanding. Only one other freshman played on the varsity at that time, and that was Doc. So that I really wasn't looking at it that way. And looking at it, like I said, trying to play with my friends. And I'll never forget Coach Hitt, after we talked, and I told him no, he told me this to put it on my head to kind of let me think about it. He said, man, if you want to be great, you'll be at practice tomorrow. But if you just want to be good, then that's cool. That's fine. You'll play with your friends.
Okay. And it's so funny because Mr. Moon, Grady Rivers Sr., he was my lieutenant at the police department. And he used to tell me about told me a story about the first time, and he had tears in his eyes. He said uh Glenn substituted for Gar,
Right.
his brother,
Yeah.
in the varsity game, and Glenn was a freshman.
Right.
And that brought tears to his eyes. And it was like it was very important to him. It was very meaningful to him. And for you to mention that's super. So now you go and you win a state championship.
Yeah, I seen you. But one thing people don't really realize, Sherelle didn't really, because he came up from like 4th, 5th, 6th grade every summer to visit his family up here. But he went back to Louisiana. That's where he originally from. So he didn't move back up here and play with us, because he'll play with us in the summer, during them tournaments, but never during the school year. So our sophomore year in high school, that's when he moved up. Mike, a lot of people don't realize Mike had a growth spurt from my junior year to our senior year. Me and Sherelle went to the Nike camp, and I went on to a 5-star and a few other camps. And when I came back after a couple of weeks, maybe a month or so, I'll never forget, Mike was like 6'2", 6'3". When I came back, he was like 6'7". And I never forget, I told him, man, I was looking down at you when I left. Now I'm looking up at you. That's crazy.
Yeah, and it happens because I got a picture of Sterling right here and Shannon way up here, and then years later, Sterling
Right.
is taller than Shannon. So I get that. I understand that. But you guys won a state championship. In your own right, you only lost one game that season to Rockford Boylan.
Rock
Island. And you lost one game that season. Then the team came behind you. They went undefeated.
Mm-hmm.
You guys had a great team. And then your careers go. You go to University of Colorado, might go to Wisconsin, Sherelle go to UIC. And now you in 3 different locations. And congratulations on Hall of Famer for Colorado. That's big. That's big to be in the Hall of Fame for any profession or anything like that. So you go and you play for the University of Colorado. How did your career go after that?
Well, originally, Colorado wasn't even a school I was considering.
Okay.
I had DePaul, Marquette, USC, Indiana, University of Florida, Cincinnati. They all visited my house and came to East. And when I had Louisville and North Carolina State, so I had major schools, recruit me at that time. And Colorado wasn't no major school, but they played in they wasn't a major basketball school. Let me rephrase that. They played in a good conference at that time, which was the Big 8, which morphed into now what is the Big 12.
Yeah, they was football school.
Right. So Derek Wittenberg, I never forget. Because I come from a sports family. I got older brothers. They play a lot. So I never forget the night Derek Wittenberg called me. I'm playing a video game. I'm a kid. He's like, yeah, Derek Wittenberg on the phone. I'm like, Derek Wittenberg from North Carolina State, the game-winning shot that beat Houston. He was like, what other Derek Wittenberg you know?
Right.
I hung up on him, because I thought he was playing with me. I thought my brother was playing with me, Devon, He called right back. So I answered it this time. And, I kind of quizzed him before I really engaged him in any conversation because, you get so many crank calls, so many false hopes. Maybe your friends playing with you, maybe your family members, because you share your story like, man, I want to go to Syracuse, so you might have a friend call playing like they jump behind,
right,
or maybe assistant coach. So by that time, I had been really tired of the process, and I was really kind of down because all those schools kind of backed off and presented it like they got a scholarship for me, but I had to wait to sign in the springtime on my senior year. So, it wasn't adding up to me. Y'all telling me y'all offering me the scholarship, but I got to wait. So I really didn't feel like they was taking me serious enough. And so when Derek Wittenberg called, it was coincidental. Like, man, I got family out there. All right, I'll come out there and visit, thinking I'll visit my grandmother. Not knowing, once again, my age, how green I am. Boulder, Colorado, and Colorado Springs is like 3 hours away. So I'm telling, my family, yeah, I'm gonna go see grandma. I'm just going out here to really take a family trip.
Right.
For me, it turned out to be a blessing.
Okay.
Because Coach Witt, Coach Harrington, and the other assistant coaches, Coach Better Marco, they really challenged me in my freshman year. And I never forget when I called Mike, after our kind of first practice. Like, man, I was killing. Like, this is going to be easy. It's a lot easier than I thought. But, being young again, that was just the first taste of it. But I definitely loved the whole experience.
Yeah, and it paid off for you. You hurt your ankle your senior year.
Broke my leg.
Yeah, you broke your leg the senior year, and that was like, okay, let's see how we gonna do this. But fortunately, you still got drafted.
Right.
And I had Donnell Bullock. I was telling him, and I might be wrong. We're gonna clear this up right now. You was their first pick, period. But you went to the second round.
Nah.
Tell me what happened, because I
got drafted along in the first round with Allen Henderson.
Okay.
From Indiana. I think he was like the 15th pick or something like that. Top 10, 15, somewhere in that area.
Donnell, you won. He said it. You won.
Yeah, I went in the second round, and that whole experience was wild because it was kind of bittersweet for me.
Okay.
I was at the draft to see my friends, 2 friends, get drafted, and we was walking out the arena, and you've been through that experience. So everybody in the joyful move, and I don't really want to be Debbie the Downer. I really don't want to lead to the second round over with.
Right.
Like I held hope that okay, maybe the first round, a few teams late in the first round said if I was there. Actually, San Antonio called me the day of the draft, and was saying that they liked me. They probably was gonna pick me. So be prepared to come down there. You get those type of phone calls.
Mhm.
You get all type of information shared that night. What a lot of people don't understand behind the scenes can make it a little bit more stressful than it really needs to be. But like I said, so we all getting ready to go, all our families. And as we walking out, I hear my name.
Wow.
So I run back in. Definitely want to make sure.
That was
Yeah.
that was the right
Like
name.
I heard the right name. And so now it was more like, all right, yeah, let's go celebrate.
Right.
Let's go have a good time. And I ain't want to be sitting in the corner mad.
There you go. That's got to be a heck of an experience. All three of y'all uh, getting drafted first in the second round. And y'all from the same district, uh, 89 and then 209. Then you go to separate ways in college, and you come back in that senior year of college. All three of y'all get drafted. Tell me what that experience about the three amigos. How did that come about?
Well, for me, I never really liked that name initially. The media kind of created that name for us at the time in high school. And it was a movie out, showing my age again. I think it was, I can't think of the three comedians, but it was the three
Yeah,
amigos.
three amigos. Yeah.
And so, I kind of correlated it to that. But it kind of morphed into something that, has been a badge of honor, to represent and to give some kids from my neighborhood what Doc did for me, some inspiration, maybe some motivation, something to aspire to not only experience but do better. And another thing that a lot of people don't realize, me, Mike, and Sherelle, once again, our friendship, our inner rivalry, from afar, we still watching and keeping up with each other. And I never forget, I'm like Mike and Sherelle and scored 2,000 points in college. They the leading scorers. The night I broke my leg, I was like 10 points away.
Ooh wee.
And so I maybe 11, somewhere around there. But I know I told my teammates, like in the first 3 to 5 minutes, I'm afraid get this out the way. Now, we gonna win this game, but don't even expect the ball. I'm afraid get this 2,000 real quick. So I come out because I was locked in at that point. I'm ready. My senior year, I done 3-time all conference. First team, Big 8, played against some major competition. Kansas State, Nebraska. It was Missouri. It was very competitive conference. And another reason why I chose Colorado was because it might not be a major basketball school, but they play in a major conference. They're gonna come see them players. So they might get an opportunity to see me compete against them. And so it all kind of just go back to our friendship. We always pushed each other to go through a pro experience together, the ups and downs, the injuries, to experience with Mike winning the championship, with the Spurs, and to see, I tell him every day, not every day, but often, man, you still inspire me with just the things that you accomplish still in life. You're never satisfied. You're always on to the next challenge. And, I try to share that message with the players I come across.
Okay. And that's so funny when you talk about the championship with Mike. Uh Mike played for San Antonio when they won the championship.
Right.
That was Shannon's first year with Cleveland, and that's who they beat.
Right.
Doc won it as a coach with Boston the next year,
Right.
2008.
8
Shannon won it in 2009 and in
in 2010.
2010. So I think, and I might be wrong, Donnell Bullock, you look this up like you did everything else. I think we the only players that won 4 championships in a row that came from the same District 89 and
Right.
District 209. I don't think any other players, schools or whatever the case might be, can say that about their school. But District 89 and Proviso East, I know for a fact, 4 years in a row, somebody was in that championship.
Like I said, it's breaded. It's something about these blocks, you know. It's something about passing the torch. You know, the one thing I always share with the basketball junkies and even players that I recruit, you know, in grammar school. I shouldn't say recruit, but try to get in interest to come to East and in the district. Since the 70s, every decade, we have at least one alumni from East has made it to the NBA.
Yeah, that's an honor. That's big. So Donnie, now you go through your pro career. You play with several teams in the NBA. You play with the Globetrotters. You play overseas. You put together a pretty good resume to for basketball, and that resume got you hungry. It's like, what made you want to come back home and coach them boys at Proviso East?
Well, you know, I've always done things with Mike and through his foundation and with Sherelle in terms of giving back to the community through camps and some other events that over the years that we put together. And I was at a point in my life where, you know, I had some things going on in terms of what do I want to do. You know, I was doing some real estate, I had some other things, but it really wasn't sparking my interest, you know, because I'll be closing on the house or doing something, you know, they're closing on them deals, and I'll be thinking, man, when the Bulls play, let me get up out of here,
Right.
you know. So when the opportunity came, and you know, you was one of the people that helped me in terms of reaching out and saying, hey, it might be a chance for you to get to East. You should look into it, you know. Definitely sparked my interest. And just happened to be, I was getting on the plane when some people called me to know the opening might be happening to go to the G League in Reno. So I ended up filling out the application in the airport, got on the plane, and never thought about it again. Like, went out there, started preparing for that. Then I got a call maybe a couple of weeks later. They're like, you know, would they interested? Would you like to sit down? And so I was definitely like, yeah, this would be a great opportunity for me to put my own commitment and for me to share with things that was people that were passed along that I came across in my journey in life in basketball, how to be a pro, you know, what it means to be a pro, what it means to how you get to college, how you learn the game of basketball, but through the game of basketball, the game of life, you know. And so I thought, what perfect way that I can touch my community is to come back and, you know, be a high school coach.
Okay, that's big. And so you come back, you get the job, and then when you get the job, you take them boys right downstate.
Well, you know, I always felt about this, even when I played, about coaching. Coaches get too much credit when the team, or too much blame when the team lose, and too much credit when the team wins. It's always about, can you get the team to move in one way and understand, which Coach Hitt taught us, as we play as a unit, the spotlight gonna shine on everybody. But if we play as individuals, yeah, we might win, but whoever had a good game might not feel they deserve as much shine. You know, so the biggest thing that I and the kids, that's what I always say, man. I love that first group because I was hard on them, like I pushed them. I wanted to see, because I watched them grow. You know my story with the neighborhood. I watched some of these kids grow up. So now here's a chance for me to have a positive impact on their life. And I know what Winter State did for me and my confidence in school, and not only in school but in life. So, I pushed them, I challenged them, man, and they stepped up big and met every challenge. And to lose your last game in the last seconds,
Yeah.
that's some movie type stuff. But I wouldn't trade it that experience in for the world, because a lot of those kids went on to earn scholarships and be successful in life, and that's why I wanted to play a major part in that.
You had about what, four of them, three or four of them play professional basketball right now.
Yeah, maybe about 5 or 6.
Okay.
I've had in my 12, 13 years, I've had 11, 12 kids that earned an athletic scholarship, went on and graduated from college with their degree, and I got a couple of them with their masters. So what better way to have a positive impact on your community and trying to help kids that like somebody helped you in your life.
Yeah, and it's you take it personal. It's, to me, Donnie, you got a passion and you're compassionate, but you have a passion for the game. And that's where you are now. That's why you are still there. What other goals do you have as it relates to basketball at Proviso East?
Well, I'm like anybody else. We always looking for that next challenge. I definitely would love to try my hand at a few things. You know, on the high school level, I definitely would love to be like an athletic director. One day, I think I can excel in that as well and be even more beneficial to the sports program at East. Because I'll be doing it for all the sports program and not just for the basketball program. And then, on the coaching side, I would love the opportunity one day to try my hand at college or at the pro level in terms of coaching. But, in terms of today, I'm looking forward to the season, because I think this year's team, we had the type of talent that I really love, when it's maybe not the top-notch talent that we had in the past, but the way they've been working and preparing for the season. And I love the overall team speed. I think we'll be able to press and play the type of style, that attacking style that we known for at East.
Yeah, and I see last week I had Noel and Everett up here, and they were talking about the different things, and you guys work well together. You look out for each other, and that's very important too. So you dreaming about doing something on all those levels. Now, this past week, and I'm gonna share this with you, and you can share with me. Uh, Bronny and LeBron did something special as a
Hmm.
father and son team, and a lot of people hating that out of well, if you in the position to get your son in the league, get your son in the league. I'm not mad at Bronny at all, and I'm not mad at LeBron, because he put himself in that position to get it done, and to me, that's a special moment. Some people, I posed the question out there. Some people said when they saw their child born, that was a special moment.
Right.
One guy said he drives trucks, then his son wants to drive trucks, so they driving trucks together now. And it was, it was different experiences. What experience with your children did you have that you feel was very special?
You know, it's been so many with my son that, I just, from him graduating from high school, going to college, from him graduating from, grammar school, from him playing basketball at West, getting an opportunity to watch him do that, watching him an opportunity to play at Illinois State, to practice with them, watching him achieve his dreams. He's a great artist, a great kid. Um, he's aspiring to be so much, and I'm just trying to get him, like most young kids, to understand you got to have a solid base first. You got to build the structure. You got to lay the foundation, and then you can start building in the levels and making your vision come together. but you definitely have to have the foundation. So to watch him grow from a kid to now he's 28,
Yeah.
you know, it seemed like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
To see him make decisions as a man, fall, get back up, and continue to not give in to the daily grind of life. That most young black men at his age have made some decisions, that wasn't so beneficial in their life. To see him, to try to live righteous, to not overstep anybody,
Yeah.
and
It,
do the right things, And I keep telling him I'm waiting for the day when I can be a grandfather.
there you go. That's a beautiful thing, and it is to see your kids do something special. It was special for me to see Shannon and Sterling reach their dreams, and that's what they really, really wanted to do. And they watching you and Mike and everybody that's before them, CD, Carl Davis, and his brothers, and watching you guys play, and Sterling takes that second place serious because
Oh no, I didn't want to down. I didn't want to poo-poo it and nothing like that, because
no,
that was a great, like I said, to lose that game. It should have been a storybook ending.
yeah, and
You
then
know,
that Oswego tournament too.
uh,
That
well, the one thing that I've always tried to say to my players, in the heat of the moment, in the heat of the battle, hey, things gonna be said. From both sides. I've always liked that competitive banner. Because I've definitely ran past the bench. My coach hit, and even my college coaches and some pro coaches. Hey man, get dude out the game, man. He messing the game up. Like I'm trying to win.
right,
And so as long as you never take it personal, and I've always felt conflict is not bad. Conflict can also be sometimes good. It's okay to disagree. I think so many times, not only in sports but in life, people want to be right, and you got to be wrong. It's okay to have your opinion, and we don't see eye to eye. You stated your opinion. I respect that. I stated mine, respect mine, and let's move on.
yeah, and that's how it is, man. But listen, from the bottom of my heart, I'm very proud of you, man, with all the accomplishments, everything that you do for the community, everything you do for the kids. It's not an easy road. It's not easy being a public figure. It's not easy being at the top. It's not being easy being the head coach. It's not easy being the number one basketball team and number one basketball players, whatever the case is. It's not easy, but you persevered. You went through that struggle, and it shows.
The one thing I always try to tell people, a lot of people don't know I played professionally for 11 years with a rod and two screws in my leg. And I've heard countless times of people have asked, what if you never broke your leg? How you think your career went? And I've always felt this way because, a lot of people, I tell my players, you got to believe in faith or higher being. I believe in God, whether it's a different religion, whatever it is, just understand you don't achieve or you don't have this talent without God giving it to you. And so I remember the night I broke my leg, I was thinking my leg, my career over with, is over with. Like I just want to live a normal life. And I remember saying a prayer because after I cried my eyes out, I definitely cried when I got in the hospital. Not on TV, put the towel over my face, but a calmness and a peaceness came across me, letting me know that he got me. And everything that came, I felt like I deserved, and I experienced what I was supposed to experience.
And that's a blessing, man. And listen, like I said, from the bottom of my heart, we appreciate you. I thank you for coming out and sharing your story with us. And everybody, y'all heard it. You heard it for yourself. And let him tell his story. Donnell Bullock, was right. Alan Henderson did go first. And this is the Love Movement Podcast. And as we leave you, as we always tell the people, treat people the way you want to be treated and never give up. He's a prime example of not giving up. He had an 11-year career. Basketball career is only 4 years in the pros. And he had a rod and a screw in his leg. He didn't give up. Thank you. Appreciate you. See you next week.
Got dressed. Need something to get into. Pretty girl on deck. She just wanna have fun too.